Hey guys, welcome to my next video. This video actually isn't a live recording, but this is inside one of my Challenger games that I played. Currently I have an account that's around 400 LP inside Challenger right now, and this is the account that I played on, and I was actually able to basically bring us back into the game with one big play that made it so we went from a 10k deficit. We were losing by 10,000 gold at like very early in the game. This was around maybe 15 minutes, and one big play around 20 minutes when we were still behind 8,000 gold made us so we were able to come back and actually win the game. In this video, I'm going to be going over how I harass inside lane as NEEKO versus Challenger players, and what I'm going to be looking for to make it so we did come back inside this scenario that we were super far behind. My team even decided to try to FF, and I could have FF'd. I think there was an opportunity where I could have popped the yes vote and made us lose, but instead I decided not to because I thought there was a situation where we actually could win just because of the champions that we're playing. With all of that out of the way, let's look over this game. Lots of the current meta champions right now are skill shot oriented champions, and there's a special trick that you can do on these champions to make it so you land more skill shots. Some of the strongest picks right now, like Syndra, NEEKO, Cassiopeia, and Galio, all use a basically circle skill shot, but it doesn't really matter what type of skill shot it is, there's just an easier way of landing it. The best way to land your skill shots is when the enemy is in a position where they don't move, and the most normal position where that happens is CSing. I think maybe a lot of people already knew about this, but there's also a way to make it so you can use it defensively too, which maybe you didn't actually think about. You can see I actually stepped back away from Lux when I last hit this creep because I know that she's looking for an E during this time. I want to keep distance between her to make sure that she doesn't have an opportunity where she is going to hit me with that E. There's some times where you're going to have to tank it no matter what because you're going to miss a CS otherwise, but whenever you have an opportunity to actually make distance between the person who's going to throw the skill shot at you, you should. Then when she goes for her CS, I'm able to easily hit her with my Q because I know that she's going to stop moving during this. Of course, now there's another CS getting low for me, so when I go for it, she trades back, and there's no way for me to dodge it this time. So basically that's how the trading is going to go, especially through level 1 through 3. As you can see, it's not always going to land, it's not always going to work, but it's just the general consensus for how trades go. Unfortunately, inside this game, I was against Camille, and I don't respect her level 2 gank, and this basically is showing why Camille is so strong. She can do a level 2 gank, and it's very, very difficult to get away from, and I even wasted my flash there, but there is some learning behind this, so let's go over it, what I could have done to prevent it, and definitely it was just a misplay by my part to not respect it. One of the first most easy things is obviously putting down a ward early inside the game. If I did have a ward on top side that I put down level 1, it lasts long enough for if she did level 2 gank me, I would have seen it coming. Besides just looking at my own mistake and knowing that I definitely needed to flash here before she got on top of me, we can also look at how well the Camille played it too. Because she flashes behind me, not only does it push me more towards the Lux inside of this lane, but it positions her into a situation where if I do flash, it's very easy to catch up to me. As you can see, I'll put a little circle around where my flash range is, and you can see I have no real options of where to go. You might be thinking that this was a disastrous situation that made me lose lane very hard, but fortunately because this was so early inside the game at level 1, Lux wasn't able to shove the wave fast enough, so I was actually able to catch a lot of CS, making it so I'm not that far behind. Not only that, but because it's slow pushing towards me, this means that since the wave is on my side and she used flash to get me, I can always call for an Elise gank. So that's exactly what I did. I called for an Elise gank, and I knew that because she had no flash, if we landed any crowd control, she would die. Unfortunately, Elise misses her cocoon though, so Lux is able to get away, and there's not really much I can do. Elise walks to enemy raptors, knowing that they're going to be up because it's a camp that Camille definitely doesn't do on her first clear, but because she went there, the enemy 100% knows that she's sitting on raptors, so Lux plays very far back. Even though the wave is still here, she's just going to make sure that she doesn't get ganked again because she knows if she gets hit by anything, she will die here. She does eventually step back up because the wave was still slow pushing towards me, and if she didn't shove in the wave and she did recall because it's slow pushing towards me, she would have missed experience and gold, making her lead not really amount to anything from that first initial kill. Elise looks for the gank, but because it's so obvious because they knew that she was on raptors, they easily counter gank it, and unfortunately she dies. I'm going to play the clip again and just try to pay attention to everything that's going on, and then I'm going to ask you a question. So I paused here. Now, what would you do? After you saw everything that happened, what would you do inside this situation? Just give yourself a little bit of time to think about it and feel free to pause at this moment, but I'm going to unpause and show you what I mean. I walk up seeing my snare is coming off of cooldown, I'm able to land it on Lux, ignite her, get an empowered auto attack off, and kill her with my Q because of the empowered snare. Why was I even able to look for this? It's because I noticed that all of them use their crowd control here. I'm always looking at what the opponents are using of their own abilities. Camille had no E, Alistar had no combo, Lux had no Q. Not only that, I saw Lux use her shield. I would not go for this play if Lux did not use her shield because she can shield herself from the ignite. But I saw I had a very short window of maybe 4 to 5 seconds where I potentially can get a kill, and I was able to get one, turning a pretty bad scenario into an actual kill where many players would not even understand that they could actually kill the Lux there by walking into 3 people because they have no cooldowns. Going back into the lane, I have no flash, so I can't really step up that hard, so basically we just try to poke each other, and she has more prio, and she eventually does roam bot, and the enemy just keeps on picking up kills. So right now the score is 1-3, and then I'm going to cut forward, and you can see what the score is then. As you can see, the score is now 1-9, and unfortunately I did die one more time when I had no flash, and I got ganked by Alistar and Camille together. Seeing Lux wasn't inside the lane at this point, and having my flash ignite up, I felt pretty safe shoving out the wave, making it so maybe I can get a good disguise play off. After the wave is starting to shove in towards the tower, I decide to step back and then disguise myself, and then put a pink ward inside of this bush to make sure there's no vision inside of it, and sit and wait to see if Lux is going to face check me. Because I know NEEKO's base damages very well, I know that I can one-shot her using a full combo. She does flash out of my ulti where I think I could have actually snared beforehand, so it's a bit of a misplay from me, but overall I get a tiny advantage, and those are the things that you need to do within higher tiers of play. You need to get small leads and then transition it into something. So because I know that she now has no flash, that means that when my ulti is back up and I have flash, I know that I'm going to be able to all-in her, and that's what I'm going to be looking for. My wave is actually slow pushing towards Lux here, and I see her freezing on me, so I feel that I'm actually going to get ganked, and because my team is so far behind, if they tried to help me here, we would probably all die to either Alistar already being here, or even Camille. Like, we are just way too far behind, so I just take the recall, even though my lane's in a really bad spot, and I say, hey, I'm going to miss a lot of CS, but at least I'm not going to die and miss CS at the same time. I'm going to skip again until when my next ulti is up, because nothing really happens besides the enemies getting more kills and just extending their lead even further. So because my ulti is back up and I have flash advantage, I asked for an Elise gank, but unfortunately during the gank I get hit by a Q and an ulti by Lux, and I actually almost die from it. I try to follow up Elise using my ulti, and I was thinking about flashing, but she was just too far away. I just barely am able to assist with the kill and get out without dying to creeps though. Because of the shield of the ulti, which I didn't intend for it to actually save me, it actually did. I was actually just looking for it to hit her, but as you can see, even within Challenger tier players aren't going to play perfectly, and sometimes things go kind of awry, but at the end of the day, at least I was able to get a kill onto the Elise. I'll skip again to where my ulti is coming back up off of cooldown, because once again, nothing really happens within my lane, but the enemy does pick up a little bit more kills. If you remember, when I first burned her flash, I said that I would initially look for all-in play with my ulti, and I know that her flash is still down here because I timed it inside of my head earlier. So because it's still down, that means that I was able to look for a flash all-in and burst her really quickly, making it so I get another advantage. Once again, I'll skip ahead because nothing really happens for a bit. It is now the 15-minute mark. This is actually the furthest we were behind inside of this game. We were 10,000 gold behind at this point. So because the towers were down, the enemy was looking for some aggressive vision, knowing that they were so far ahead. Because of this, it caused a small skirmish, and we were actually get a little bit of gold back from it. The skirmish actually goes into a pretty extended skirmish where Akali actually goes in to pick up Elise, but because of that, she also just completely disrespects Poppy and just dashes in and basically kills herself because I'm able to land snare, and with no hesitation I immediately use my ulti to get in range of her, and even with the flash she wasn't able to get away, so I get a big shutdown gold. So I'm actually sitting on a lot of money now, and because of my money I believed at this point, because I'm NEEKO, I'm actually going to be able to carry this game. So skipping a little bit further ahead, my team is able to pick up a little bit of skirmish kills, and they actually are able to pick up tower because of this, but even with that, we were still around 6,000 gold behind, so it wasn't really that much of an increase, and we were still pretty far behind, especially for less than 20 minutes in. So at this point, I knew that I just needed to land a very big ulti to make it so we can come back inside of this game. If I was able to land a very strong ulti, since I'm level 11 with level 2 ulti on multiple people, it's going to make it so maybe we can actually win a team fight, even though we're down almost 6,000 gold. Because even though we're down 6,000 gold as a team, I'm at least strong enough to have some core items to make it so I'm at least strong myself. Later in the game, the enemy continues looking for picks on players and even gets our release, but the Ezreal plays very disrespectfully when Aatrox is roaming down, and I decide that I can actually bait out his E if I throw my abilities at him. If it lands, then maybe I'll be able to kill him on my own, but even if it doesn't land, I was trying to position myself into a situation where he would E onto me, and the bait worked, making him E on me, and we were able to pick him up. This also snowballed into, for some reason, Alistar just playing dumb and getting caught himself, actually giving a 900 gold shutdown to our release. But believe it or not, we were actually still 6,000 gold behind, even after all of this, and we even picked up Rift too. This did make the gold at least come a little bit further back, but I still knew that I needed to make one big ulti play to make it so we actually were able to win the game. One big ulti play could mean us winning a team fight extremely hard, and with Baron coming up, it was going to be the ultimate way to actually make it so we can completely snowball the game back into our favor with one single play. So before the Baron spawns, we were actually able to get a kill on Akali. It doesn't really do anything though, because we don't have anybody in position to take objectives, and also we sent 2 people bot for this kill, meaning that we don't have numbers to set up vision around Baron, so overall, it was just a kill. So because I know that they're setting up around Baron, that's where I'm going to be looking for a play, whether it be pick or team fight, because I know that if I'm able to stall out the Baron, then maybe we can get more items and actually win this game. I disguise myself as Elise and walk in after Camille clears our ward because I know if she jumps on me, I'll be able to maybe actually kill her if I just use my ulti after she ultis me and maybe just be able to one-shot her. But she doesn't show up and Poppy sweeps it, showing that there's no ward inside of this bush. So I don't know if Poppy was just playing dumb here or if this was actually really smart by her, because I knew that she was going to get collapsed on, but this was actually the perfect opportunity for me to look for a good ulti out of vision, and they had no idea that I was here. So I go in, being disguised so they don't see me channel my ulti, and get a 4-man ulti off, and with my team following up, we were able to kill almost all of them here, except for Akali respawning and being in base, and we're actually able to take the Baron as Akali tries to TP in and stop us, effectively getting an ace plus Baron, completely turning the entire game with one single play. The way we got to this point in the game was a mix of me understanding what my champion's strengths were to make this big play happen, getting some of the kills on my own from understanding my own limits of this champion, and of course just not giving up. If I was playing a different champion, I would have looked for a different opportunity to actually win this game. If I was playing Akali, then I wouldn't be looking for this big ulti play, but rather I would maybe be split pushing because I know I have really good 1v1 potential and skirmishing power. So through NEEKO, I just knew that I needed to make a big ulti play to make it so we won, and I was able to find it, and that made it so we were actually able to come back into the game and actually win it in the end. Now don't just think that we were able to win the game outright right after taking that Baron. During the next Baron, we actually lost it because Luck stole it away from us and some teamfights were a little bit sketchier. But I was able to, through that initial comeback, make it so my team came back into the game, making it so I didn't need to carry the game anymore, because there's situations where I can't really do stuff inside teamfights, but my other teammates can, and basically that was my goal all along, making it so my teammates are relevant again so they can also help me carry the game. This comeback was done from having a plan in the first place, and then having the game knowledge to actually put that plan into action, and then of course just not giving up. So the next time that you're inside of a game and you start winning the game, but your teammates aren't doing so well, don't just cave into the FF vote like many people do, and including myself. If I don't have a plan going into it, and I truly believe that I can't win the game, then maybe I'll FF. But inside this game, I believed and I had a plan going forward, and I stuck to it, and I was actually able to win, even with my team literally saying, please FF. And with that being said, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you like or dislike anything about the video, just let me know inside the comments so I can improve it for next time. This was one of the biggest comebacks I've had in a very long time, so I just really wanted to make a video on it and just make it very informative about how comebacks work and add some stuff about mechanics and stuff in there too. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time.